Hello everyone, Griffin here, and today I'm gonna give you an update of War of the Gods. I got to Legend. It was not that hard honestly, especially because I activated some skins, actually a lot of skins I think. I had so many trials, so let me show you. So at this point I was still going with the win-lose, like lose on purpose, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, win-lose. What is this one? Oh yeah. I made a huge mistake here trying to use my Imperial Marshal when he doesn't have any training, has only 3 stars. Yeah, I completely blew it. But that was my fault. I tried to troll, it didn't work. This one I quit. Then because I lost 2 times, I had to win 2 times, and win loss. And then at this point I decided, okay, it's September 30 right now. Well, September 29 at the point I started. So let's start winning. So win. I went all the way directly to 24 2 stars, I think. Then I found this person. And well, let me show you the fight. Here my problem was, I think, choosing Poison Fang. Oh, sorry. Now let me put it again. So I was doing my standard team, whatever, and here my problem was, I think, choosing Poison Fang. And maybe I should have chosen something else as tank, maybe even Cleric himself, since my opponent has a lot of physical stuff. So it was a bad choice on my part. You can see how Cloudwalker skin is controlling my heroes a lot. So yeah, my choice in tank and possibly using Poison Fang here were really bad for me. Maybe Poison Fang not that much, but my choice in tank and in substitute was really bad. I should have gone with something like, I don't know, even Sorceress would have been better as substitute here. And my poor Hidden Needle really tried. So yeah. Obviously, having here Scabrous Blade and Halberd Master are not great health when my opponent has Cleric, but my opponent started and he chose what is this girl called? Shadowleaf. And I went with my normal opening for physical, so those 2 heroes didn't help. Poison Fang actually helped. My choice of tank was bad. My choice of substitute worked well here. She did a lot of damage. But my opponent choosing Cleric at the right time made Halberd Master and Scabrous Blade pretty much useless for this fight, so not luck. Then I went with Holy Priestess, then my opponent went with Time Soldier and what is this guy called? Imperial Marshal. So I was thinking, okay, this might be a Master Mage team. So I went with the normal Master Mage counter. But then afterwards I remember, wait a minute, will Time Soldier cancel the Grab of Rabbit? So then my opponent went with Void Master and Sorceress. So I went still with the typical counter. Then my opponent, instead of using Master Mage, went with Poison Fang. I was a little surprised, and then a tank. I was a little surprised but not Master Mage there, but look at what happened. Look at what happened. Time Soldier did cancel the Grab of Rabbit, so I couldn't hurt much, and then more cancel for my Rabbit, and then more ultimate, and then Void Master, which left me in a bad situation. Really bad. Then a stun by Imperial Marshal, then the cancel of skill by Time Soldier, then Sorceress again, then Void Master, then my Arcane Sapper did try, but he was controlled for most of the time that he was on the field. So yeah, the fact that Time Soldier is so far in front compared to when you actually use tanks makes it so that his initial skill hits the front line of your heroes before Evil Rabbit stops to grab someone. So starting with that, and then with the rest, I was completely outmatched. I was not expecting that. In the first one, my opponent played it well. In the second one, my opponent also played it well. I was caught completely off guard, so kudos to my opponent. I have to say it. Then I had this other one that, well, it happened. So here I went with Harbor Master. Then my opponent went with Imperial Marshal, Desert Eagle. I'm still not sure how to counter properly Desert Eagle. Then my opponent went with Cleric and Mechanical Barbie, so I went with Poison Fang and Commando Skin. The reason why I went with Poison Fang is because since my opponent used Cleric, I was like, okay, I may need some magical damage instead of continuing with physical. Cleric being there is already making my first two heroes not very useful. Then what? Then my opponent went with what is this called? Arcane Sapper. And as I told you guys before, Ember Star is a monster even without the skin. And well, since I saw Arcane Sapper, I went with my Cleric, and then Witch I thought would be a good substitute, but look at what happened. So right now I'm showing you examples of things you shouldn't do. I don't have this much problem normally because I'm in the lower level, so that's to be expected. Oh, by the way, that Arcane Sapper with the buff of Mechanical Barbie, it's pretty much invincible. By the way, my witch died before doing anything, so I got absolutely demolished. Absolutely demolished. My witch died with 0 damage. Then the second one, oh my god. You can see what I did here. I did a normal team. It's not that much of a stretch what I'm doing. And my opponent did a good team and chose Magic Breaker. My error here was choosing Ninetale Fox so soon. I even told you guys before that if possible, if you are thinking of choosing Ninetale Fox, choose her as the 5th hero, so that your opponent might have less chances of actually squeezing in Magic Breaker. And look at what happened. So the reason why I put Lunar Guardian with the skin there is to have something that actually changes places, but then his place was changed with Ember Star by the Sky Girl, I forgot her name, that one, the one that just did her ultimate. And the problem is that my Ember Star was silenced by Magic Breaker when he was changed to my opponent's side of the field. So Ember Star completely silenced of my opponent's side of the field, she was destroyed like this. So I lost a big damage dealer there. I lost a huge damage dealer there. And then that control, that when a hero is in the silence field of Time Soldier, if that hero is then hurt by Time Soldier, he gets stunned. And so that helped to kill my Lunar Guardian, and then the ultimate of Turtle Fighter on my Shadow Reaper, and then after that the silence of Time Soldier, and then after that being hit by Time Soldier inside the silence field so that she gets frozen. Yeah, as you can see, the fact that my opponent had Magic Breaker and Time Soldier here made my Stargazer, made my Ember Star useless, my Ninetale Fox useless. So 2 huge damage dealers, and in the case of Ninetale Fox, control heroes were rendered useless. So those are examples of things you shouldn't do. Then I went winning, and at this point, when I defeated this person that has the name with the symbols just before Drake, I was 25 1 stars with the streak. So I was ready to win. And then I got cocky and started trolling. I have no idea in the first fight why I chose Witch. I should have gone with either Arcane Sapper, Shadow Reaper, or even Sorceress. I don't know what I did there. Also, check this out, my opponent has Void Master, and I didn't choose a hero who changes sides quickly. What was I thinking? Instead of Poison Fang, there should have been Lunar Guardian, and this fight would have been a joke. I would have won easily. And then, there, all my heroes controlled by Void Master, all of them. I played so badly that I'm ashamed. I played that fight so badly, to be honest. Look at that. So, two mistakes. One, my opponent has Void Master. Even if my opponent didn't have Void Master, why didn't I choose something that goes to my opponent's side of the field? That was a mistake. And second, going with Witch here. Especially because my opponent had heroes like Turtle Fighter, that when he rolls, the ultimate of Witch doesn't do anything, and Halberd Master, that when he does his ultimate, let's say on Witch, he doesn't care, he doesn't get any damage. So two heroes that will technically be immune to the damage of the ultimate of Witch. Why did I choose Witch? And why didn't I choose something that changes sides? So second, so I went in the offensive here. I went all out. And look at what happened. A little ultimate from Sorceress, never hurt anybody. Said no one. Ember Star is dead. So this fight, as you can see, is pretty easy actually. This fight was pretty easy, not a problem. And then the last fight. I blew it in the last fight. I shouldn't have gone with Magic Breaker. I'm not even sure. I just had this fight 2 hours ago, and I don't even know why I chose Magic Breaker here. I'm honestly not sure. I had so many other choices. I had Thunder Beast, I had Void Master. I don't know why I went with that. Hey, I could have chosen even another tank. But, oh well, I chose that. It happened. I could have chosen Chemist even. I used a trial of the Chemist skin too, so I could have gone with that. I don't know why I went with Magic Breaker, to be honest. I have no idea. I needed more damage considering that my opponent had healing in the form of Cleric. Heck, even something that takes out the healing like Divine Knight might have been useful. Mostly because of the healing of Cleric, the fact that Bloody Tyrant actually likes to heal himself. Plus most physical damage dealer, so yeah. I lost that one badly. I had literally no reason to use Magic Breaker here. So in the first one, 2 bad choices. In the second fight I went all out, not a problem. And in the third fight, one bad choice and was enough for me to lose. I actually had a chance if I would have chosen something different there. And then after that, I ended up on level 25, no stars. And then 3 more wins and I got it. So I guess I could show you a little of the fights, but the interesting ones. And this one I quit, I guess. Yeah, I quit. Let's see, 64, 72, not interesting. This one maybe, I don't know. No, this one's not interesting. I mean, you can see the teams. I had both fights in the back. The next one against Jay Wicht. Let's see the teams. No. I mean, the second team is actually good. The first team my opponent is using, not that much. Let's just see what the problem with the second team was against my Master Mage. So for starters, there needs to be something that changes places quickly. Because I am getting my ultimate really quickly. So that helps. And then the ultimate of Wind Priest is actually helping. And then the ultimate of Thunder Beast help. So here my opponent's problem was not having something that changes ultimate quickly and something to keep his heroes alive. Then the next one, let's see. So my opponent went with Master Mage on the first one, which it's a good choice, but I used the counter, so you will see what happens. Void Master incapacitates the hero that Rabbit grabs, and that hero will die without doing anything. Well, except that he did something, because when Saboteur dies, he does some damage to the other heroes. Then some of my heroes died there, mostly because Trigger actually did his anti-healing skill. But even then, look at what I have there, it's not that much of a problem. All the damage that my opponent did, in this case, Saboteur did damage at the end when he explodes. Look at all the damage that my opponent did, the damage that I did, mine is less, but even then I won. And the second fight, so my opponent's team, see, I'm conflicted here because Matchless Hammer is a good hero, but in this situation it didn't work very well. I went for a fully physical team because I really didn't have a reason not to. My opponent was not choosing Cleric, so Matchless Hammer died really quickly there. Something like Turtle Fighter would have made my life considerably more difficult here, but oh well. So this is how the fight is going. As I said, not that much of a surprise considering my opponent is not disrupting my team. So I won. That was my opponent's problem. maybe if my opponent chose Turtle Fighter instead of Matchless Hammer, my opponent could have had a chance. But the fact that I'm using so many skins gives me an edge anyway. So next fight, Antibaus. So here my opponent started with Cleric, and then I did some weird theme. Trying not to use physical heroes, that it went badly, as you can see. Then in the second one, since my opponent already used Cleric, I was pretty calm to use my physical team. Then I didn't realize my opponent was doing Master Mage at first. But then I saw the Master Mage and I was like, okay, I need something to get Master Mage behind. But then I completely forgot once again the initial skill of Time Soldier. I went with Devastator to try and not Master Mage to the back, but I forgot about Time Soldier. I forgot completely. Look, my Devastator is not doing his job. Can you believe that? The only reason why he's still alive is because he did not stay alive that much, but still, he did not die instantly. The only reason why he didn't die instantly was because my Devastator is fully trained. Otherwise, that would have been really bad for me. But even then, the fight went my way. I had more than enough damage to not worry that much. So yeah, that was my mistake, but at least the rest of my heroes helped a lot. And then my opponent went with this weird team, Ocean Princess is amazing, but it's a weird team, not because they're bad heroes, but because I don't see synergy between them. While I have a hero that pushes my opponent's heroes to the back, where Arcane Zapper will be able to do damage to more heroes, so healing more, stealing, not stealing, but more like burning energy. And since my opponent didn't have something that immediately went to the back and did damage, because he has Turtle Fighter, but he doesn't do that much damage. But he does just enough so that my Manipulator can get something done there. So let me show you. So Ocean Princess is an amazing hero, but here I can see that my opponent's Ocean Princess is not fully trained. So far there's not much to be worried about. And then my Manipulator does her ultimate, and a lot of heroes are in trouble after that. My opponent's Scarlet Sickle did her ultimate on my opponent's side of the field, so I am in a good spot here. Yes, Ocean Princess is being a pain, but my opponent has not even killed my Manipulator because she's being kept alive by my Holy Priestess, then a second ultimate by Manipulator. And yeah, I didn't even need my substitute. So yeah, here my opponent didn't have a good synergy with his or her heroes. And after that I had a level 96, level 104, level 108, this one, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. I have no idea why I went with Chemist and Cross Knight in the first fight. I don't know, I panicked. No, I got distracted by something. I don't remember what I was doing. I think it was something in the computer that distracted me. But yeah, and why choose Chaplain as substitute when it's obvious that the heroes that I have in the field will not be able to kill my opponent's heroes? But anyway, but then the other two fights were actually pretty easy, and you can see why. Most interesting of all might be the last one, because when my opponent saw that I was doing the Master Mage, what do you call it? Master Mage counter, then he chose Turtle Fighter as his 4th hero, then I had to choose my 4th and 5th hero. So I thought, okay, maybe my opponent will not do Master Mage after all. So I went with Arcane Sapper, and just to be sure, I went with Magic Breaker. But then my opponent did went with Master Mage. And that is a good move on my opponent's part, because Arcane Sapper jumps to the hero with the most intellect, and that is Master Mage. So look at how it goes. My Arcane Sapper went for Master Mage, and then he got cancelled by the green skill of Void Master, and then banished by Master Mage herself. But then he has enough health plus the ultimate of Holy Priestess to keep him alive. Those two heroes are the only reason why he stayed alive. And then my Void Master doing damage, and my Arcane Sapper still being alive helps, and I won. So here my Holy Priestess was instrumental on keeping my heroes alive. Otherwise I would have been in big trouble. Other than that, the other fights I think are very obvious why the person who won. Then this one that I already showed you, and then a little more fights that I don't think I will show you guys, but just like this, I lost in the first fight. The second fight I won it. My opponent went with Master Mage. I went with sort of Master Mage counter, kinda. But the thing is that my opponent started with Time Soldier, so I went with the other two, which are Lunar Guardian and Cleric, and then my opponent then showed that he was doing Master Mage, so I had to change a little bit. And the only reason why I selected as 5th hero Skeleton Mage instead of something else is because I needed something to take damage to the back, so he can summon dragons. So I won that one, and the last one I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I had healing, I had good heroes, I had heroes that go to other places, I had boost, I had control, I had magic and physical damage, so yeah. Then this other one, my opponent's Master Mage won. Oh yeah, because I didn't recognize Master Mage at first, and well, with the first two heroes, Halberd Master and Scabbardless Blade, obviously that I was gonna kill Master Mage and lose. And the second and third one I went with Classic, Classic for me. The only change was that I added Commando in the second team, I didn't have a reason not to. My opponent did good in selecting Divine Knight there, but still I had more than enough healing and resistances and moving around and buffs with Commando to beat my opponent's team. And in the last one, so my opponent already used Cleric, already used Imperial Marshal, Arcane Sapper, Shadow Reaper, and Ninetale Fog, which are some of the heroes that I'm more afraid of. So the only thing that I was still afraid was Mechanical Barbie and Time Soldier, which my opponent didn't use, by the way. So I went with some damage, some magical in Poison Fang, mostly physical with the others, a couple of heroes that can go to the other side, Shadow Leaf for clones, and then Sorcerer Substitute it's a good one. And in the last one, this one I win pretty easily, to be honest. I don't know why my opponent went with Werewolf there, but okay. And the second fight was actually not that difficult. I just had to use Arcane Sapper and Lunar Guardian to change to be physical and to change sides, and well, that made it easy. So that's how it is, guys. I am Legend. My personal record is terrible. 209 wins, 198 losses. So with the exception of, well, the losses that I showed you today are some of the few that where I actually lost. I had like 4 or 5 other losses, maybe in the whole month. Legitimate losses. So anyway, so that's it for this month. This is the end of September. And well, I don't know if it's important to... Oh well, look, Emberstar is amazing as always, as is Sorceress. And Poison Fang has actually been working pretty well for me. So do not sleep on her. Okay, that's how it is. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. And I will see you next time. Griffin out.